I've been having a blast digging into the third Bach cello suite. We've got this great edition in G major from Steve Tramontosi in our sheet music store. In this video, we're going to take a look at every movement and what's cool about them and why I love this edition. Steve has many of the suites in our store, but the third suite just really caught my fancy, and I started to dig into it, and his fingerings and the bowing / slurring indications that he indicates really resonated with me. I was talking to him about it before rehearsal not too long ago, and he said he just went through the Anna Magdalena Bach manuscript and just made those indications. This sits wonderfully starting on an up bow, actually makes it come out so that you're on a low G down bow, which is a great way to start. And this is just kind of like an opening fantasy for the rest of the suite to come. When I got to Northwestern, my teacher, Michael Hovnanian, had me practice Bach for every single lesson. So the lessons that I remember going back decades at this point, I'm thinking about as I'm practicing this. When we get into these figures like 21 that are kind of long sequences, I try to bring out what is new, what is different, and that passage and many passages are a great example of Bach sort of simulating two voices at once. So trying to picture the melodic line or bring out the melodic line is a lot of fun to do. Steve solved some really great harmonic challenges, this not being originally for bass. I like it how at the end of the first page, he gets this A harmonic happening here. Really cool way to solve that. And then when he gets into this long sequence in the second page, the fingering suggestions are really, really lovely the way that it sits on the bass. It's less challenging than it looks at first. Definitely practicing slowly, practicing with intonation in mind, practicing with grace in mind, and not trying to make this sound lumbering. That is a challenge I have, certainly with this suite or any Bach suite. Practicing Bach is a lifelong quest, and it was really great to sit down and chat with Mark Bernat, who is the person that really popularized Bach for people in my generation. He came out with his wonderful edition, international edition in the 90s. I will link up to that in the description below.
The thing is with Bach, it's musically so difficult, but thank God after 50 years of struggle, like I've been sort of comfortable enough that I could get through and feel like whether it's using it as a warm-up or just kind of a musical stimulation, but it hits so many spots that you can't go wrong. I mean, you're always going to get something out of it. Some days I go Prelude from 1, Allemande from 2, Courante from 3, and you'd be amazed how much more difficult it is when it's not in sequence.
Then we get into the bane of my existence, the Courante, and all Bach Courantes challenge me quite a bit. Metronome practice is great for this one. Not freaking out as you move up the tempo is great for this one. And for me, making sure that I'm not practicing with too much bow at a slower tempo, so then when I speed it up, it feels kind of unrealistic. But yeah, just for me, playing kind of in the middle of the bow. And you could do a lot worse than playing something in G major. It's a great key for this suite. The suite was originally in C. Some bass players play it in C. I've tried a little bit of it in C. It sure sits better on the bass in G, although C is a cool challenge, absolutely. And the Sarabande is interesting. Steve does color coding to show you what string this is on, and this actually makes a lot of sense to me getting into it. So blue is the D string. What's up, dude? And then yeah, red indicating the A string. That's very cool. So you can get into like measure 6. So that sits like that. Again, a little less elegant perhaps than on cello, but them's the breaks playing this on bass, tuned in fourths, and Steve's suggestions and solutions definitely help. Then when we get into these last 3 movements, these are the ones I played the most for auditions, so old habits die hard. I know I totally didn't do most of Steve's fingerings. I was channeling back to the early 90s and learning this as an undergrad. But yeah, I like starting up-bow. It really allows you to bring out that double stop, triple stop in the second full bar. And yeah, it's trying to achieve a sense of lightness in this and continuity in the line, even though it's moving around and bringing out the different voices. It's just like endless challenges in these 2 braids. And then the contrast between the 2 braids is super fun. If you play these for an audition, which these are very commonly played for auditions, generally playing both braids is what you do, and often without repeats. And to really have a different kind of sound, I'm definitely going for more of an airy sound in the second beret and a little more boisterous in the first beret. That's what I'm trying to do. And even though it's moving around maybe in ways that are challenging, trying to keep it nice and smooth and chill and feeling light and elegant is the key. And I dig this starting down on the G. This is a neat idea. Just because it's so common to like to kind of lose that first note. And it's like it propels you to the 3rd full bar. It's like an intro. Bum bum ba da 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 dee dum. That's what I'm getting out of the way that Steve that's what I'm getting out of the way that this sits on the bass fingering wise. And yeah, trying to just keep it nice and melodic and connected. And then Steve's decision with the octaves in measure 33. That's really cool, the way that sits there. So he's got I always learned that up an octave, but I think it's actually pretty groovy to play right there on the bass.
I'm totally comfortable with the fact that a lot of bass players took my Audition and they said, okay, I'm going to make my own and change this, change that. But I think I'm proud of the fact that I think it still holds its own because it's a great stepping stone. I mean, I encourage people to make their own eventually, because to suit your own, whatever you want to do, this bowing or that bowing. But this is a good foundation. If you can play it in the only thing that's been kind of a dispute is the keys you play it in. So like I do the 4th one in C major. Some people tune their bass or they do it in G major. I mean, even cellists play sometimes in G major. So that's all open. You know, like it's fair game. I'm not insulted if somebody does it differently, but I'm just happy that, well, not glad, but I'm also proud of the fact that I think bass has become just totally in standard bass repertoire now.
So that's a look at Bach on the bass and this wonderful edition from Steve Tremontosi. We have many more editions of Bach up on our Double Bass HQ website. And if you want to check out more Bach videos, we've got plenty on our channel. We'll link some up for you and see you over there.